Hello, colors. Welcome back to Viva Barca and welcome to another interesting episode where we are going to discuss on some interesting updates. We start with Riqui Puig, former Barca midfielder, of course, who recently liked a post criticizing Xavi for his selection against Alaves. We are going to discuss on that as we move ahead. Secondly, talking about two Barca stars that have been affected so much by criticism following recent performances. We are also going to be discussing more on that. So as we get right into it in much detail, please do ensure to subscribe. Turn on the post bell notification to always stay notified whenever I post a new video. Consider liking the video and please watch it right up to the very end. Xavi's starting 11 in Barcelona's 2-1 win over Alaves raised several eyebrows. For once, Alejandro Balde, Rafinha, Oriol Romeu, and Andreas Christensen were all named on the bench. And what's more surprising is that there were only two homegrown players in the squad, namely Lamine Yamal and Fermin Lopez. As it turns out, the limited presence of the youth team players has once again put former midfielder Riqui Puig under the spotlight as he liked a post from Josep Capdevila on X, which stated, Xavi is on his way to achieving it, a Barca starting 11 without any youth players. Today, only two. We are going towards a totally unrecognizable Barca. And of course, we can see that Pierce loves that comment. Of course, the fact that Pierce has always been discontent with Barca is clear. 24-year-old Riqui Puig left Barcelona in August 2022, joining LA Galaxy in a shocking move after failing to get recognition in the starting 11 at his boyhood club. Since then, the 24-year-old has been quite vocal about his discontent, not just with Barcelona, but also with Xavi. I believe I was not treated fairly when I came back to training in pre-season last summer when the club did not let me train with them, he said. That's what really annoyed me during my last years there. As soon as this happened, I tried to look for my way out pretty quickly. On Sunday, the former Barcelona midfielder liked a post that emphasized the scarcity of La Masia graduates in the selected team, which consisted of only two players from the youth system. Nevertheless, he subsequently removed his association with the post later on. Meanwhile, it's said that concerns among fans are growing as there is apprehension that Xavi may soon assemble a starting lineup devoid of any La Masia graduates. Despite providing opportunities to numerous young players during his tenure, many of them are not consistent starters in the current time. Of course, there was a lot of talk about the lineup that Xavi put on in that game, but notwithstanding, we won the game. But Xavi Hernandez has been criticized fairly a lot concerning the way he selects his team at times. Here we are, we see Riqui Puig, of course, fan favorite Riqui Puig, who left to LA Galaxy last year. He's still not happy from the look of things. He still feels he still feels so let down by Barca, especially the manager Xavi Hernandez. I quite remember under Ronald Koeman when Puig was just in fact a squad player without even touching the ball, having serious issues with Ronald Koeman. When Xavi was announced to be the next manager of FC Barcelona, many thought that things would change for Riqui Puig. But what did we say? We even saw worse than what Koeman did. Xavi came and made as if he did not even know who is Riqui Puig. He did not even feature Riqui Puig in anything, to the extent where Riqui Puig will be asked not to even travel with the rest of the team to the preseason. And I mean, it just angered the player so much, and I understand him perfectly. He had to leave, as we heard him spoke about how things happen. He still feel like he was harshly done by, and of course, for him to like a comment or a post criticizing Xavi's starting 11 selection in the game against Alaves this past Sunday, it still shows that he still has grudges against Xavi and Barca. Barca is his boyhood club. I think he loves the club, but just the way the managers couldn't give him a chance, I mean, there was just no way. Right now, he plays for the MLS, and I think he feels comfortable there. He has the playing time that he wanted to have. For crying out loud, he's already 24 years old, and there was no way he could be patient waiting for game time under his belt because time waits for nobody. Age is catching up with him, and I think he made a good decision to leave the club rather than waiting because there was no chance for him to play. Xavi Hernandez have a lot of youth players now on his ranks, and has been criticized fairly a bit for the fact that most of those players are not even starting 11 players. He just always flashes them and remove them, flashes them and remove them as substitutes and stuff like that, or maybe introduce them as substitute in the second period. But that should not be the case. If actually the team is under transitional phase, then Xavi should start giving the trust and faith on some of these young players to perform from start to end. Then on to the final story of discussion. Following Barca's 2-1 win over Alaves on Monday, Xavi lashed out at the media, claiming that the constant scrutiny and criticism from the press had been affecting the players a lot. He said, "When I talk about Barca's entourage, I don't mean the fans, I mean the press. The criticism from them affects the footballers, and they don't play well. The criticism does not affect me. It affects the players. I can see it in their faces," he said after the game. "I have zero doubts that the criticism from the press is affecting the team. It happened to me as a player and I can see it now. There is a massive wave of negativity around the team that is harming us quite a lot." Of course, shedding further light on the situation, journalist Chique Rodriguez via Corusel has reported that the swath of criticism directed at Barcelona in light of recent performances has indeed had an effect on the squad and the staff. As per the update, two players in particular, Romeu and Rafinha, have been badly affected by the recent criticism directed towards the team. The update claims that Romeu, who has lost his place in the starting 11 in recent weeks, is suffering from a crisis of confidence in light of the criticism directed towards him. Meanwhile, Rafinha is also understood to have been affected by the situation and atmosphere surrounding the Barcelona of late. It is also stated that two members of the club staff have taken down their social media accounts in order to avoid reading the criticism and negative comments regarding the team. With the game against Alaves being the last before international break, Xavi and co can now take a step back and reassess things before their next match in 2 weeks' time. So guys, with that, we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, bye-bye.